And as soon as we're streaming, yes, we are on, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my livecast, as I'm calling them. And I don't even know if that's a word. It should be, and it is now. Guys, look, today I want to talk about football, lads, football chanting, Keir Starmer, the New World Order, and what comes next. Now, I was on the train a couple of days ago, guys. And I was coming back from Manchester, and I don't know who'd been playing football. Was I in Manchester? I think I was in Manchester. I was coming back on the train from Manchester, and there was a lot of I would consider these guys football lads. You know, they were chanting some chants. I don't know what those chants were, but they'd come together and they were getting really passionate about their football team. And I was thinking about these guys, and I was thinking, right, is football? I mean, you know what, guys? I'm not gonna ask the question. I'm gonna say that football is a massive distraction. You know, these big events on TV, the football games, the World Cup. It's literally, and I kind of like, you know, I've talked about this before, but I had a massive epiphany on this because people are told not to focus on things that really matter, but focus on the things that don't matter. Now, look, guys, I'm not throwing dirt on anybody who goes to watch football. I'm saying it doesn't matter. Now, you get huge, phenomenal amounts of young men spending time, money, effort, resources going to watch these football teams. So you've got all these guys getting really passionate about football, getting passionate about men that they've never met, they will never meet, kicking a bag of wind around between them. And then they cheer when one team kicks the ball really hard and it goes into and the other one score. It's unbelievable, guys, you know. And I always say to people in my personal space, I always say, right, if that team wins, loses, or draws, are they gonna keep your kids safe? Are they gonna pay your gas or electric bill? No. And it fascinates me how mass droves of men go to these football games and they're chanting things like Starmer is a. But I don't think they understand the real problem here. And that's kind of the problem. And the problem is people don't understand the problem. Now, I don't think the problem, like guys, just a question for the chat. Do we think that Keir Starmer is the problem in the United Kingdom, guys? Do we think Keir Starmer is the problem in the United Kingdom? I would say that he's not the problem. Because I would say that Keir Starmer's not in charge. I would say that whoever's behind Keir Starmer's the problem, and whoever they work for, or maybe 2 or 3 levels behind that. So when you see all these people throwing negativity at Keir Starmer, yes, all right, you throw negativity at whoever you want. You know, you're entitled to your opinion, but you've got to understand the underlying fabric of what's happening in the Western world right now, guys. All right, you know, it's not Keir Starmer. And although everybody's pointing at Keir Starmer and everybody thinks it's Keir Starmer and we all think Keir Starmer's terrible, if the people who are controlling him told him to stop the boats and told him to, kick migrants out of the UK, it would happen in a heartbeat. And there lies the problem. And I was having this argument with my mum. I was having this same argument with my mum like yesterday. She got a bit upset, actually. She was saying that it's Keir Starmer and it's Keir Starmer. And I was like, right, mother, it's not Keir Starmer. And she's saying, what do you mean it's not Keir Starmer? I'm saying, he's not in charge. And she's saying, he's the Prime Minister. Of course he's in charge. And it was really difficult because, like, a lot of people, and this goes back to the football lads thing, a lot of people are blinkered, I guess. You know how you put blinkers on a horse? So, you know, you just, you only let the horse see that way, and that's the only way they go. Now, a lot of people are blinkered into thinking that Keir Starmer, or that a lot of these problems are because of Keir Starmer. They're not. It's the problems, it's whoever's controlling Keir Starmer and whoever's behind Keir Starmer. So what is coming next, guys? What is coming next in the United Kingdom? Because we talk about the problems that are now. We don't really talk about the problem. And guys, look, some of the problems that are in the United Kingdom are absolutely unbelievable. I've been watching more about, I've been looking more into what really happened in this migrant, with this migrant going into the girl's house. It's phenomenal, guys. It's absolutely phenomenal what happened. And the police, now, again, look, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to caveat this. I'm not a legal expert. But as I understand it, the police can arrest someone if they've got reasonable suspicion. All right. So you got to put yourself in the police context. All right. So you've got this woman screaming. You've got this migrant who's been in this woman's house. Now, they didn't arrest him. They just let him go because there's no crime. Now, as far as and again, I may be wrong. Guys, if there's any police officers or anyone with inside information, please let me know. Let me know if I'm wrong. Please correct me. But if you're a police officer and you've got reasonable suspicion of something happening, you can make an arrest. Now, whether or not a burglary was about to take place, or as I think, potentially something worse than a burglary, if you guys know what I'm talking about, then the police, I would say, in that circumstance, had reasonable suspicion to say that something had happened. I would say they had reasonable suspicion. And can you imagine those people who still live in that house, guys? Unbelievable. So the police are there. They've got reasonable suspicion, which I think they would have reasonable suspicion. Why don't they arrest that guy right there and then and take him away for questioning? I think I know the answer, guys. I think I know the answer. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are on now. I've been monologuing for 10 minutes, and I've still not covered half of the stuff I want to cover. Can you guys please hit the like, the follow, the share, the subscribe buttons, the bell notifications? We are triple streaming this morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are on YouTube, we are on X, and we are on TikTok. As normal, guys, I'm going to go to this morning for about half an hour. I'm going to be on TikTok for about half an hour. It's so restrictive at the moment, guys. Yesterday, I got 2 restrictions and a video ban on TikTok yesterday. But you know what, guys? I don't even care. I do not even care. I don't even care. I genuinely don't care anymore. I'm just going to keep going, guys. I'm going to keep going. I'm probably going to double down, actually, on doing my... I'm probably going to double down on the videos I'm talking about. So... where was I going with that? Yeah, so it's really important, guys, that you like, comment, share, subscribe. Like on my YouTube as well, guys. If you don't follow me on YouTube, please go follow me on YouTube. I'm the Real Raven One there. I do a lot. I'm doing a lot more content on YouTube. Obviously, when the videos finish on TikTok, I'll be over on YouTube. I'll be over on X, and I will be... I'll be continuing this live stream over on YouTube and X where I'm less restricted, because it is ridiculously restricted, guys. There's a lot of people now talking about how restricted the videos are on TikTok. It's unbelievable. Anyway, guys, let's get back to the call. So you've got the masses of people in the United Kingdom, although people are starting to understand what's happening now. This could have, if people, the writing's been on the wall in the UK for over 10 years. The writing's been on the wall for over 10 years. Now, when people were waving their hands and saying, whoa, hang on a minute, guys, this can't happen. We're heading for this. Oh, no, you're being racist. Oh, no, you're being this. Oh, no, you're being that. Oh, no, you're xenophobic. No, I'm not. I've got time in these countries. I know what's coming. Now, those same people are starting to understand what's coming. And when I go back to the football, lads, guys, you've got these masses of people who've been blinkered, absolutely blinkered with these blinkers on, watching football, watching the news, watching these sporting events, when the real stuff that's really affecting their lives day in, day out, nobody can see that. So a lot of people, and I'll go back to the argument I was talking about with my mum. I was having with my mum. And maybe you're the same, but I think people kind of need to stop throwing heat on Keir Starmer, because it's that same blinkering. So everybody's been focused on football. Now everybody's focused on Keir Starmer. Stop focusing on Keir Starmer, guys, all right? He's not the problem. He'll do exactly what he's told. The problem is whoever's telling him what to say. The problems are whoever Keir Starmer's, whoever's in charge, whoever's in charge of Keir Starmer. That's the real problem, guys, because I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Keir Starmer writes his own speeches? Or do you think he just turns up, puts his glasses on, reads the words, and then gets off? I don't know. Maybe it's somewhere in between. So that's kind of the problem at the moment, guys, right? People are blinking and focusing on Keir Starmer. Now, I know this because I had an argument with my mum, and everybody she talks to, they're all the same. They all think Keir Starmer needs to get out. And I've been saying this, guys, how many times have I said this? It's not the politicians that are the problem. It's the people behind the scenes. It's the system. It's the system, how this system works. So I'm going to talk. I want to talk now about what I think is coming next. Now, this may happen fast. It may happen slow. It may happen fast and slow. It may. I don't know how quick this is going to happen, but it is escalating. So, we had a letter through the post as well. I should have shown it you. You know, when I come on later on tonight, guys. When I come on later on tonight, guys, I will. When I come on later on tonight, I'll show you the letter. It's in the house. We had a letter through the post from Serco asking if we want to rent our house. Yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, so we are saturated now, ladies and gentlemen. The United Kingdom and the West is absolutely saturated. We're saturated. We're blinkered. There's lots of sleight of hand. People don't know where the problem is. You know, and that is the direction of travel. Now, we're at that saturation point. So I think what we're waiting for now is a turning point. We're gonna have a situation that bad where where people are screaming for the police to do something. People are screaming, please help us, help us, help us. And at that point, I think what will happen is some sort of Orwellian state, Orwellian police state, where, you can already see this happening with this online censorship bill, where like we're putting these 15-minute cities. Can you imagine? Can you imagine now if you're put into a 15-minute city and you're not allowed to know what's happening in the other cities? Like, you wouldn't have any idea. And if people are controlling the internet, controlling the flow of information, you would have one of these 15-minute cities, and another 15-minute city could just be getting like liquidated for like, I don't know, for like fuel or something. Thank you, Candy Rocks, for subscribing. Candy Rocks, thank you for subscribing. Candy Rocks and all the rest. Candy, and I'm sure, Candy, you do rock as well. You do rock as well, Candy. Look, guys, for all the subscribers on Friday, I'm working on something and I want to give it you on Friday. So on Friday, for all the subscribers, guys, I think I'm either going to do a subscribers only. Yeah, I think that's the only way I can do it. Or I might do an open chat. No, I can't do an open chat. It won't work. So for the subscribers, guys, on Friday, I'm going to do my first subscribers only live stream. I'm going to present to you what I've been working on, all right? And then I need your help. I'm going to give it to everybody, but you guys are going to get it first. And that is all I can say, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can say. So we're going to be in this situation pretty soon, I think, where people are just going to be screaming out for help. People are just going to be screaming out. And this is when I talk about subversion, you know, the four phases of Yuri Bezmenov's 4 phases of ideological subversion. I'll say it that way. I'll remember it then. Depending where you'll go, some of the people might teach 6 different time frames are different, but I go with Yuri Bezmenov's. Now, you've got the demoralization phase, you've got the destabilization phase, you've got the crisis phase, and you've got the normalization phase. Now, here in the UK, we have already been. There's no way we can, like, nobody can say that the United Kingdom's not been demoralized. We have 100% been demoralized. Okay, that's been done. It's a done deal, guys. All right, we are a demoralized country. We are being destabilized by someone. I don't know who. I don't know who's destabilizing us, guys. I used to think I knew, but I'm not so sure now. We may even be. It could be, and I don't know the answer to this, guys. I don't think anybody really knows, apart from the people who are doing it. But it could be the same people who pay Keir Starmer are the same people who are destabilizing us. Because once you've destabilized the country, it's very easy to put it into a crisis phase. It's very easy to put it into a crisis phase. So the crisis phase is coming, guys. I thought we would touch our toes into it this summer. I'm not so sure now. We haven't got a couple of days, we've got a couple of weeks left of summer, but I thought we would be in the crisis phase this summer. We're not, which makes the spectre worse, because if we were into the crisis phase this summer, then we would stop the boats, we would stop migration, and we would be able to do something about it. The fact, and we would have a fighting chance. But the fact that we've not reached the crisis phase yet, in my time scales, that means there's another year now of young men arriving every day in the United Kingdom. It means there's another year of young men being put into hotels, being put into houses of multiple occupancy. I mean, we're all cheering at these hotel protests, guys. And you know what? It's up to you if you want to go to one of those hotel protests. But we're all cheering about these hotel protests. Okay, so they closed the hotels. Where are those guys going to go? They're just going to go somewhere else. And I get it, for those people in that area, that's a win. But you know what? It's not a win. If they move them out of those hotels and then move them into a house on your housing estate, that's not a win, guys. That's like a lose. That's definitely an L. That's an L. You know, you're all cheering for the win. You know, everybody's cheering for the win. We've closed the hotel down. Where are you going to put those people? Jupiter, the moon? And this is the problem, guys, okay? You need to stop the stem. We need to stop the flow of these people into the country first. And then you can start thinking about deportations. Then you can start thinking about moving people out of the countries. So, it's pretty incredible what's happening, guys. You know, and people are complaining about the hotels, which is right because it's a focal point. But what happens then when those people in that hotel get put into houses on housing estates? Do you think that's going to be better or worse? I don't know, guys. I don't know. And look, you know, and we don't know who these people are. We don't know what crimes they've committed in their own countries, if any. And I'm not saying they are, I'm saying we don't know. So would it be beyond the realms of possibility that somewhere in, I don't know, let's just say someone somewhere has committed a crime, a real bad crime? Just put it out there, guys, right? Someone somewhere in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, wherever, commits a crime, and then they have a choice then. They either come to the United Kingdom, live in a 4-star hotel, get money, food, accommodation, you know, healthcare, or they go to prison. Like, if you're faced with that choice, what are you going to choose? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, guys. Maybe you guys can say something. So think about that, guys, all right? You're a bad person, right? You're a bad person. You commit a crime, all right? You know you're going to go to prison for it. So what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in your own country and take the prison sentence? Or are you going to come to the United Kingdom and get 4-star hotel, you know, healthcare, money in your pocket, nice little job for Uber Eats, free food, 3 meals a day? What are you going to do? You're like, oh, well, I could stay here and go to prison, or I could go to the United Kingdom and live in a 4-star hotel. Oh, I don't know. How long do I have to think about it? Oh, I don't know. So, like, what are you going to do in that scenario, guys? Unbelievable. Right, guys, let me get these comments. Guys, listen, I'm going to close this down on TikTok at past. I'm going to close this down on TikTok at past, and then I will be continuing this live stream on YouTube. Listen, guys, for the subscribers, I need to keep saying this, okay? For the subscribers, I'm going to do a subscriber. I think I'm going to do a subscribers only live on Friday. It won't be the morning live. It won't be the evening live. It will be a separate live stream just for the subscribers. And I'm hoping right now, guys, I will keep you informed on it, but I'm working on something and I want to give it you. I want to present it to you on Friday. So that will be for the subscribers. And once we are all happy, guys, you know, I can't say any more about it, guys. I'm working behind the scenes on it, and it's taken me quite a while to do this. Right, let me get all these comments, guys. Let me get all these comments. Wow, a lot of people joining. Four Paws is saying, morning. Good morning to you, Four Paws. Good morning, everybody that's joined. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've not done so already, can you please hit that follow button on on TikTok? Can you hit the like, comment, and subscribe also on YouTube? Because that really helps me out as well, guys, because the YouTube is a lot less restrictive. UK Veterans is saying, are you connecting on a 2.5 or 5 gigahertz? I've no idea. I have no idea what I'm connecting on. Earlier on, guys, I was trying to connect my YouTube, but it wouldn't connect. So I've got a router that's maybe like 10 feet away from my computer. And I couldn't. I was connected to it, but I didn't have the signal, so I had to connect to the one in the house, and I can stream on that, which is peculiar. Snowdrops are saying, I think it's a lot of people behind the scenes. Yeah, because we was talking about, a lot of people are looking at Keir Starmer and getting angry with Keir Starmer. Guys, stop it. Stop getting angry with Keir Starmer. He's not in charge. He's not in charge. You need to think who's behind the scenes and who is really in charge. And I don't know who's really in charge. But I would say start with looking at who Lord Ali works for and who Lord Ali worked for and how Lord Ali got his football. Dodgebra says, I go to football games every week. Unfortunately, majority singing chants are kids. Yeah, because we was talking about how people go to football games, and like I do think people are starting to understand now what's happening, because you're seeing like lots of people going to these protests outside the migrant hotels. But I still think people are blinkered. So like 10 years ago, people were blinkered in watching football, just going to the football games. Now I think people are blinkered in going to the hotels, getting angry with Keir Starmer. The root cause of this problem, guys, if we don't stop the root cause of this problem, it's never going to go. It's never going to go away, okay? So people are throwing a lot of X, Y, and Z at these hotels. Where do you think those people are going to go, guys? Once those hotels are closed down, where do you think that people are going to go? CC Outdoors Education is saying it's BlackRock. It's always BlackRock. Yeah, BlackRock are buying up a lot of houses in the UK at the moment. UK Veterans is saying, I was talking to someone doing a live yesterday. They got around the TikTok issues by saying they are a broadcasting journalist. Right, okay, I'd have to look at that, but I'd have to look at that. Should I register? Maybe I should register myself as a journalist. I don't know if that'd happen. If that'd work. Laurie C is saying, good morning. Four Paws is saying, tap the screen, guys. 30 minutes for 50k. Candy Rocks is saying, hello, guys. Love your channel. Hello, Candy Rocks, and welcome. Candy Rocks has just subscribed. UK Veterans is saying, I learned yesterday that when a migrant fails asylum in the UK, they have to go home to a non-EU country. Well, there you go then. We're a non-EU country, aren't we? They have to go home to a non-EU or to a non... Yeah, so, yeah, okay. So what UK Veterans is saying there is, and I don't know if this is true, guys. I don't know if this is true. But when a migrant fails the asylum tests or whatever it is in the European Union, they have to go to home or to a non-EU country. So the United Kingdom is the first swizzle on those cards. Candy Rocks is saying, I'm emigrating, got plans, no longer than 12 million, no longer than 12M. I'm gone. I feel so sad leaving my country. No longer than 12M. I don't know what that means. You've got 12 million saved up. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Candy Rocks. I'm emigrating. Got plans, no longer than 12M. 12 months. Sorry, 12 months. Oh, God, sometimes, guys, sometimes you need to knock me on the head because I'm not fully caffeinated in the morning. UK Veterans is saying, do the subscribers only chat Friday after work. Right, guys, that's a good question, actually. At what time should I do the subscribers only chat on the subscribers only live stream on Friday, guys? What time is it? UK Veterans is saying after work on Friday. What does that mean? What time is that? It's only going to be a short live, guys. It's only going to be a short live. Do you know what? It might not be, actually. It might take quite a while. But what time should I do the live, guys? And then Candy Rock saying it's the World Economic Forum and BlackRock in charge. Agenda 2030 rushing in. But where do we move to, guys? Where do we move to? Because everybody's saying we need to leave. We need to leave. I need to leave this country. Look, guys, I've been thinking about it long and hard. I really have. Where do you leave to? Literally, where do you go to? There isn't like there isn't a safe place, really, guys. There isn't, and there isn't a safe place. And I would say, and I've been saying this in quite a few videos, guys. I've been saying I think there's going to be an exodus, a mass exodus to Antarctica. I really do, guys. I really do think there's going to be a lot of people moving to I really do think there's going to be a lot of people moving to Antarctica, because it does seem that Antarctica would be the literal safe place. UK veterans is saying either at lunch, which is about an hour, but after work. So would 6 o'clock work, guys? So if I did, on Friday, if I did a subscribers only live stream at 6 o'clock, would that work for everybody? Candy Rocks is saying, I hate the cold. Antarctica is not great. Do you know what, guys? Yeah, we hate the cold, but with technology, we can make it uncold. We can make massive domes. We can make massive center parks areas. We can have beaches. We can have all sorts of stuff down there. We can have our own little terrarium. We can build our own terrarium out there. And especially if there's, if we can crack nuclear fusion, we can go down to Antarctica with all, Western technology and just live there like on the winning team. We can be on the winning team down there, guys. And we can let the rest of the world, we can let the rest of we can just let the rest of the world, we can let them be that woke. We can let wokeness take over the world. Just say, do you know what, guys? Have your woke world. Go and have your woke world. See how far it gets. And you know what? When we go down to Antarctica, and we've been there for about 10, 15 years, 20 years, probably somebody, what they'll do is they'll probably start sending like blimps, like big airships. They'll probably start sending airships back to have like a little trip over the world. And when we go over the world and we're flying over in our blimps, in our airships, like the woke guys, they probably won't do air travel anymore. They probably won't have any form of electricity anymore. They will have probably gone back in time a couple of 100 years, and we'll just be flying over them, looking down, and they'll all be looking up at us, thinking we're aliens or thinking we're the UFOs, and we'll be sat there looking down and say, "Oh yeah, that's our old world that we had to flee because those guys, those guys just went woke, and the savageness was just unbelievable." And there'll probably be guided tours and stuff, and like somebody on the blimp will be saying, "Yes, in 2025, the United Kingdom took a very strange stance on, and then it was destroyed, and then people had to flee." And they'll probably be doing those guided tours from a blimp, and we can all be looking down. Candy Rocks is saying, island available to buy. Yeah, there's lots of islands available to buy, guys, but even if you get an island, that island will be in proximity to something, and that's something at some point will send an invasion force. I'm thinking, I'm thinking like I'm thinking about the strength and defendability. I'm thinking about the strength and defendability. So yes, there's lots of islands to buy, lots of Nordic islands to buy. Lots of islands to buy, quite a few off the coast of Scotland at the moment, actually. In fact, there's an island off the coast of Scotland. I think it's 2 million. And there's an old castle in it as well. And I mean, I'd love to, I would love, right. Abdullah is trying to join the live. So I'm just going to turn them off. I'm just going to turn Abdullah off. Right, 4 Paws are saying I usually watch the Hairy Bikers at 6, but can cancel that. Yeah, so we're talking about a potential subscribers only live stream at 6 on Friday. If I get this finished, guys, okay? If I get this finished, all right? What I'm working on that is now. UK Veterans is saying, have a look at the fertility rates in the Western world. It's not good news. No, it's not. So the fertility rates have absolutely dropped. And this is kind of one of the reasons why mass migration is happening to the United Kingdom right now. Fertility rates have dropped. And if we don't get more people to work in the factories, work in the industry, to do stuff, then the economy will fail. And those people who run the economy, the real people behind this, they're going to lose a ton of money, and they're going to lose a ton of control because people won't have that money and they won't be able to pay their taxes. So flooding the market with people, flooding the country with people, to keep that status quo, to keep that financial system working, it's the only way you can do that. Because once you've flooded the country with those people, you then give everybody universal basic income, which would be, as I understand it right now, it's I think it's £1,600. Should I just let these people in? Guys, I've let people in before, these people trying to like Tokyo King. I don't know who Tokyo King is. Tokyo King wants to join. Tokyo King, send me a message. Yeah, but the fertility rates are dropping, unbelievable. And as well, not just the fertility rates are dropping, people can't afford to have kids. Like, you know, if you're working and paying taxes, you can't afford to have kids. But if you're not working and not paying taxes, yeah, bang out as many kids as you want. You know, bang out as many kids as you want. And that's kind of the problem. We need more people who are working and contributing. They're the people who should be having kids. But unfortunately, guys, that is not what's happening. UK Veterans is saying historically, when the rate hits 1.1, society collapses and vanishes. Yeah. So one thing I will say about that, guys, is yes, I agree, but also people are living longer as well. So, you know, people are living longer. So I think the 1.1 society is it 1.1? Now, is that right? Okay, so guys, just quickly, and I know this is a little bit granular. UK veterans, are we talking about 1.1? Are we talking about 1.1 with the death rate, or 1.1 with birth rate per man and woman? I don't know what that 1.1 statistic is, but please let me know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to jump over now to YouTube, guys. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes warning, all right? Because I'm going to close this down now. Right, okay. So yeah, so UK veterans. So this is so women, Western women are having 1.1 child per person. So that is it's not a diminishing birth rate, but it's not good. What I will say as a caveat to that is people are living a lot longer. So if you compare that, if you compare the birth rate per woman to the overall death rate of people are living longer, so it kind of offsets it a little bit. I know what you're saying, and you're right, but the statistic is a little bit it's not misleading. It's just you need to think more about that statistic. You need to think about more with that statistic. Snowdrops is saying anyone seen on X about Zelensky transferring 50 million every month to the United Arab Emirates? I don't know where these articles are coming from, guys. I'm not saying it's wrong. I also saw an article about Zelensky. He now owns France's biggest bank or something. I don't know if these things are true or not. I don't know where they're coming from. I've certainly not seen anything credible that would say that's happening. I'm not saying it's not happening. I just think a lot of these things are far-fetched, and they're just, these things get spun out there, a lot of them by near-peer adversaries, potentially in countries that I've mentioned their names before, and I've just been banned straight away, so I'm not going to do it. But you guys can understand where that would be. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, the crux of this video has been the blinkering of football. The blinkering of football, guys. The blinkering of football. People are blinkered. People have been blinkered by football. People, yeah, UK veterans. I'm just going to pin this because last time I talked about that, I got banned. So yeah, it could be propaganda by near-peer adversaries. And I would say a lot of this stuff is. I don't know, guys. I don't know how that could have, like, if Zelensky, and I'm not saying he's not, but if Zelensky is transferring 50 million every month to the United Arab Emirates, like, do you not think, like, somebody would say, hang on a minute, especially in Ukraine, do you not think the Ukrainians would say, like, hang on a minute, how's this happening? And, you know, I did see the article as well saying that Zelensky was the biggest, what was it? Zelensky's just bought France's biggest private bank or something. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm not saying they're not true. I think a lot of this is, I do think a lot of this is propaganda. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this live stream down. I will still be live streaming on YouTube, guys. If you want to go over there and continue the party, I'll be live streaming over on YouTube. I'm the Real Raven One on YouTube. I'll be over there, guys, for a little bit, and then we will be closing this down, and I will be back on at 8. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I know it's only been short this morning, but the algorithm on, I mean, yesterday, guys, for context, right? I know I said I was going to jump over, and I am. Yesterday, for context, I posted, I can't remember how many videos I posted yesterday, but I got 2 of them restricted, age restricted, and one of them I got disqualified. Now, the one I got disqualified, they said it was for unoriginal content. So I appealed it. I've not had the appeal back yet, but I appealed this because they were saying it was unoriginal content, and it was me talking. And I'm thinking, right, so like, how am I not? I don't know. Maybe what I was saying. So how am I not me? I don't know how the algorithm works, guys. I genuinely don't know how the algorithm works. It's crackers. But yeah, so yeah, he said I was giving unoriginal content. So you know, and it's really frustrating. It is really frustrating, guys, when this happens, because then you have to appeal it, and you just want to kick a can down the road. UK Veterans is saying, become a journalist. A veteran on the streets in London has done it, and its content and lives are not restricted. I mean, I'll look into it, guys. I will look into it. I mean, if it's easy to do, to become like, I don't know how hard it is to, like, wouldn't I have to? I don't know. I will look into that, guys. I'll look into that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now. I am going to jump over to YouTube, and I will be back on later this evening, guys. I'm the Real Raven One on YouTube, on X, and on TikTok. And I'll see you later. And we're off. And we are off. We are off, ladies and gentlemen. The shackles of restriction have been removed. Right, let me just click a few buttons. The shackles of restriction have been removed. Right, let me get some questions on here, guys. Debbie Doobs is saying, many pensioners already live on 1,600 a month. Yeah, so I think what we're talking about there is the universal basic income. So what people don't understand about universal basic income is when it comes out, it will be for everyone. So well, maybe not everyone, but maybe everyone over 18, maybe everyone over 21. And what will be said is, right, we are going to give you, and look, I don't know how much this is going to be. It might be more, it might be less. We're going to give you £1,600 a month, but you have to spend it within that month. And you can only spend it in approved shops. Now, what that does, that makes people spend that money quickly. So you get the economy moving. So everybody then starts moving money around. And the consumer buys stuff. That stuff then gets bought from a shop. That shop can then buy more stuff and pay their staff, and they can pay taxes, and this money will kickstart the economy. Now, ultimately, guys, whenever money is injected into a society, it only goes one way, and it only goes up. That's the way money works, guys. Money only goes up. What do I mean by that? Well, you think about all the money. Hang on, guys, what am I looking at? You think about all the money that was printed in the, you think about all the money that was printed in the crazy times. You know, the crazy times in 2019, 2020. If you think about all the money that was printed, where that money ends up. So yes, you get given money to you give money to people. Like, in fact, I remember there was a big scandal. In fact, Debbie Doo, you might remember this because you're from Rotherham. There was a big scandal where Rotherham Council had given people checks, given people free money in the form of checks, council printed checks. They came through the post. But look, I don't know how this happened, but a lot of people in Rotherham don't have bank accounts. Again, I don't know how that works, but what happened was people had to go to like the cash converters and stuff and cash in their check from the council. So straight away, 12% or whatever it is, or maybe even 20%, I don't know how much it is, but a lot of that money then went straight back. A lot of that money then went into people's back pocket as profit. Which I don't think that should, I don't think that should be a thing, but it did happen. So what I'm getting at here, guys, is a lot of this money, I speculate money always works its way up. So the people at the bottom get given free money, £1,600 a month. That money is then spent, and at each level of that spending, somebody's taking a little bit off in profit, and that's going into their account. At every level that's happening, guys. And that money only ever works its way upwards. And ultimately, this money ends up sitting in somebody back to the banks. It always comes back to the banks in the form of profit, if you understand how money works. And the £1,600 would be on top of whatever you get already, guys. That's how it's going to be introduced. That's how it's going to be introduced. Anyway, let me jump down. John Giles is saying, open to greed and corruption, being able to spend money at certain places. Yeah, exactly. No, you are 100% right, John. So the greed, corruption, the openness to manipulation, for example, what the government could say is, right, okay, if you want to, well, first of all, there's the controlling people by money, right? Okay. You guys, we've got everybody needs to come and have their come and have your medication. Come and have your medication, or we turn your universal basic income off. Okay, right. You turn up to those protests, right? If we see you there, we're going to turn your universal basic income off. Right? Okay, I'm not going. Everybody, make sure you're in bed for 9 o'clock. Okay, literally, once you start taking money from people, you work for them. You're controlled by that person. I don't think there's a scenario. Trust me, guys. I've worked for the private sector and I've worked for the public sector. All right. At no point have I ever felt that I don't work for the person who gives me money. I've never felt like that. You always work for the person who gives you money. It doesn't matter what it says on the tin. You will always work for that person who gives you money. So we can do this at source. So we do this with the people. And then you've got the shops, the businesses, the compliance. So, for example, if you have a shop and you sell, I don't know. If you sell union flags in your shop and patriotism stuff, the government might say, "Oh no, that's too diverse. We're not registering your shop for universal. You can't receive universal basic income payments." All right, okay, that's a kicker. So then you get the shops to comply. You get the shops to fall in order. You get the shops to do as they're told because they want to receive that money. And it's a fascinating way to do it, guys. But you need to break society. You need to destroy small business. You need to destroy the economy to do that. Matt is saying, English people don't have a home or a land to run to. This is our land, our right to stay, and protect it no matter the consequences. Matt, I agree with you. The reality is, it's over. I feel it's over, guys. I do. I feel it's over. I mean, and the problem it's over is it's not because of people like you, Matt. It's for people that are still blinkered. It's for people that are still blinkered and they can't see what's coming. Like, it's kind of like, you know, kids when like they've got a plaster on or something. In fact, I took my eldest daughter flying with me. We went up in, I think we had, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a Cherokee or something. But we went up in a little Cherokee and I had a fly. We was having a fly around. And when she came down, she never equalized the pressure in our ears. You'll see where I'm going with this, guys. And I was saying, yeah, you've got to do this and try and blow out your ears. And she's saying, Daddy, it hurts. I'm saying, yeah, it's going to be a tiny little bit of pain now, but then everything's going to be okay. And she said, I can't do it, Daddy, I can't do it. And I was thinking, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's either a tiny bit of pain now, and then everything's fine. But most people don't want that tiny bit of pain. They will just let that tiny little bit of pain get worse and worse and worse and worse until the inevitable's the inevitable, unfortunately. Oh, hang on. What's happening here with Invisible Gamer? Right, was somebody beefing on here? Was somebody beefing on here? Who's beefing? Right, somebody was beefing on here. Right. AG Aesthetics is saying TikTok is the most restricted platform, most moving over to Kick now. Yeah, guys, it's unbelievable. Like TikTok is so funny. Like I don't even care anymore, guys. I used to really try with my. I mean, I was trying and I'm still getting restricted. I mean, one of the videos I got restricted. It said unsuitable for what did it say? I can't remember what it said. So what I have to do now is normally I would just talk about something that was happening, but what I have to do now is I have to put a screenshot of it behind me so I can say, look, this is what the media are reporting. But even when I did that, it said the restriction came up and it said unsuitable for some audiences or something like that. And I thought, well, this is like out as mainstream media. This is out in the mainstream in the UK now. So the mainstream are allowed to post it on, I guess, in fairness, on their platforms. But as far as the TikTok algorithm is, the TikTok algorithm is more restrictive than, I don't know, guys. It just really is ridiculous. Humorous, actually, quite humorous. Matt is saying, technology is going to be the downfall of humanity. It makes things too easy. Yeah, absolutely, Matt. It does make things too easy. It makes people, absolutely, it makes people lazy and then your freedom is taken. I mean, the girls want those VR headsets and I'm just like, not a chance. Not a chance of those things coming in the house. That's a step too far. I mean, they play on their phones constantly, but I'm not having them laid in bed with those VR headsets on. Not a chance, guys. That's not happening. So, technology is going to be our downfall. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Time will tell. Potsinator is saying, hear about the devices planted under the car in the UK yesterday. Some have evacuated. Yes. So there was. You know what, guys? I should have probably started with this. So there was an incident where there was 3. Let me get this up, guys. Give me a second. You are right. Yeah, you are right. No, you are right. I just remembered then when you right. So where are we? Huh. Oh, interesting. I can't find it on the news. Oh, here we are. Yeah. Dozens of terrified families evacuated in leafy suburb as army bomb squad is deployed to suspicious object under car. A specialist army bomb squad has carried out controlled explosions in a leafy Hertfordshire suburb after a suspicious object was discovered under a car on Saturday afternoon. So I don't know who, like, you've got to understand, like, if you get what is a suspicious object under a car and whose car was it? That's the important thing, because most, like if I phoned the bomb disposal up and said there's a suspicious object under my car, I don't know, maybe we should try it. They would say, why do you think it's suspicious? What do you think it is? But if this is a person of interest, maybe he's a military commander, maybe he's a defense attaché, maybe he's a foreign diplomat, and he comes out and his security team say, yeah, there's something dodgy under our car, that's a different story. But yeah, I think there was 3. Was there 3 controlled explosions? Yeah, I think I'll do a standalone video on that, guys. I will do a standalone video on that. But yeah, so there's been, I don't know whether it's a bomb threat. It's difficult to say because the mainstream media is not talking about it. But it's either a bomb threat or just fake news. When the bomb disposal teams come in, if they think it's a bomb, they'll just put an explosion. They'll put explosives next to it and they will blow it up themselves. So I don't know, guys. I don't know what's happened here. You will only, but then you've got the explosion. So then, is it a detonation? Was it a viable device, or was it a hoax device? Nothing's come out on that yet, guys. Nothing's out on that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys, I am going to close this one short today because I need to be off at, what time is it? I need to be gone at 11. So I need to be gone in 15 minutes. I'm going to go and get some more wood because winter's coming. It's only a matter of time before it starts, before it's really cold. Everybody's, it's only going to be a matter of time before it's really cold and everybody's freezing, and then the gas price has gone up, and then all sorts of crazy stuff's going to be happening. So prepare yourselves for winter now, guys. All right, maybe like right now, like warm coats are relatively cheap because nobody wants to buy them. Blankets, sleeping bags, all those sort of stuff. You can buy them relatively easy right now because nobody wants them and it's warm weather. But as soon as the warm weather stops and it starts to get cold, those things will rocket in price. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go now. I will be back on at 8 and I'll see you later.